All right, people, we are live. It's another day of Fridays with Nate. Today I have the esteemed Scooter Carl, Scoot. So, Scoot, tell everybody who you are if they've not met you before.
So I am one of the ad mods for Transformer Game Group and then the new Transformer Chat Group. It's actually where I met Simmons way back when. So, yeah, I'm out here in good old scorching hot Arizona.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I used to live there. I'm glad I don't live there no more.
Yeah, today was 97 degrees, and they're saying, "Oh, hello, fall." I'm like, This isn't fall. We're still in summer.
No. Well, and that was the thing too. Like I lived in Tucson, so it was always 110, 120 during the summertime, melting your shoes as you walk on the streets. I was so used
Yeah.
to seeing that. But like when I got to Texas, we got here and it was literally like 60, 65. It was really nice weather. And then May hit and it turned 105, 110 until now. Like we are just now getting down to like 90, 85. And tomorrow's the first day of October. So good times.
So I've only been to Texas like through airports and stuff, and I drove through there. But that was like North Texas through Amarillo when I moved out here. But I'm assuming you guys, because of the coast, have a lot more humidity, and that's something I don't miss from living in Virginia. That was awful. So like 95 degrees with like 100% humidity. No thanks. I'll take 110 with zero humidity any
Mm.
day.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like when it's 105 and 100% humidity. Tattoo Toy Hunter, he's in the group. He's down in South Texas, and I'm in the middle of North Texas, is what they call it. So we're stuck landlocked in the middle, so we get all the heat, all the humidity, no breeze unless the wind starts blowing in the afternoon, and then sometimes that's
Ooh,
still a hot, hot, hot wind. Um,
that sounds like a terrible combination.
it's always
But at least you
fun
got
though.
air conditioning.
Yeah, hey, I will not complain because after not having it for so many years in California
Right.
and dying when it would be 90 degrees, 95 degrees in my house, inside the house, you know. Um, I do want to say thank you, Simon and Kevin, for being in here. Definitely, y'all, you boys, thank y'all. Uh, there's not a whole lot of stuff, but I did get a lot of stuff. And Carl got me some stuff too. So it's always a
I'm showing
fun
off the
time.
good bits. Obviously, that would be the other thing that people know me by. So if you've been watching Simmons' channel for the last couple of years, when he gets boxes and my name pops up at the bottom saying like Scooter Carl, that would be me as the one hunting, because the location that I'm at, I have like a plethora of like Walgreens, Targets, and Walmarts nearby. So yeah, when he couldn't find something that had been scalped, and that was I came up to bat. I was the designated hitter, so to speak.
And it's kind of cool too because like working the different angles of like trying to find stuff. Like now that I'm in Dallas, I can find a lot of stuff, but then there'll be like older things I'm trying to get, which Carl still might have in his store because people don't hunt there for certain things. Um, but then there'll be other things like GI Joes. Yeah, that's always gone. You know, even the NECA turtles for a while that was bad because everybody was scalping those up, and he couldn't find them nowhere. And I understand too. People got to make money. That's part of the job. That's part of being a collector. But it's like some of us that are collectors actually want to collect it and have it in our collection. And as you can see behind me, I mean, these are kind of like, you see it's mostly bots, and it's always going to be mostly bots. Because I'm a Transformers guy first, and then horror, and then NECA, and then random stuff. Like a lot of people are like, "Why do you even collect that?" But I like it. You know, Everybody has their own thing. Everybody should be able to enjoy their own collections. Um, but wanted to show you what actually I went to the store today, and I did a little small toy hunt. Oh, and you guys will see that hunt later. Um, we got Frankenstein, monster, but it's a Raphael.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. I mean, the boxes beat the crap. I mean, literally, look at this.
Really? Oh, wow. They ripped off the hanging tag.
The hanging thing, yeah. And then they
Oh,
taped it back to
jeez.
here. But the actual box itself is still sealed, you know.
Did
So I
they give
think
you any
what,
discount at Target for that?
well, this was at Walmart, and Walmart never gives
Oh,
you
that
a
was a
discount, you
lame.
know. But um, yeah, you guys know me. I'm a huge Universal Monsters. Yeah, buddy.
So this is what, yeah. So we can try and show like Oh, that was a good view. So there's Leo in his hunchback form. So this we were showing like his box is probably very similar. These are both really, really big boxes. And I just bounced into this the other day, and I messaged him. And he goes, "Oh Lord, you saw one?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, and wait. He's like, "Wait, yep." Because then there's this one, and he looks. This to me, I think out of all of, well, I think right now Raphael's the best, followed by Mikey, and he's got. I mean, head sculpt right there looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And then this is the first one that I saw. So I totally missed all this stuff. Usually, you know, I'm always like shown what's coming up or NECA's like really good. And so here's April O'Neil. So this is the first one that I found. And so there she is. That's pretty impressive by far. So lots of cool stuff for this. So this one will partner really well with Raphael since she is the bride of Frankenstein.
Oh.
So that, yeah, coming to Simmons shortly.
Soon. Well, and that's the
Jones.
yeah, and that's the funny part is like, you know, I collect random stuff like that, Universal Monsters or TMNT, but I don't collect regular turtles. You know, so somebody's like, why don't you collect the regular turtles anymore? Well, because there's 8,000 of them in the cartoon line. NECA puts out a new one every other month or every other week. And so by the time you get done, you're never going to be completely done. Like you think, okay, I got the 4 turtles, I've got Shredder, I've got Krang, you've got the Krang monster, but then you're like, well, I need this one and I need this. And guess what? NECA's there to give it to you. And so they have all of them for you. So you keep going and going and going and going. So by the time you're done, you don't even realize that you've got 8,000 turtles things.
Yeah.
So I was like,
I mean, I found you. Like I remember when I found you the first 4, like one go. I think I found all our turtles in one go. Now it's like the Targets are totally stockpiled all villain stuff and the Toads. So like was Archimedes or not Archimedes? I can't remember what their names are.
Genghis.
They're just like sitting. Yeah, they're just sitting there. You know, and I think the one that everybody's chasing after right now, which to me looks pretty cool, is Yojimbo. And I didn't think they had the rights to do Yojimbo.
They did. They and I saw Yojimbo twice, but did not pick it up. And the reason being is I don't collect it. You know, so I'm gonna leave it for somebody else who wants it. But I was like, Usagi Yojimbo. I remember reading the comic book, you know, way back when in the 80s. When it came out, and then they had the crossover with the Turtles, you know, with Eastman and Laird, and I was like, "This is freaking cool," you know, to see that crossover. That was the first time I ever saw a good crossover. And then it went through a lot of gambits because you know 2 different companies, you know, Origami had, you know, he owns the rights. He didn't want to let the rights back out again. But I think what happened was last year when Mattel got the rights to make that. That Usagi one, they made 2 of them. They made the regular version and then a samurai version in the normal line, not the NECA line, but in the normal TMNT stuff that you see on the shelves. And I think that kind of opened the door. So NECA's like, hey, if Mattel can get it, maybe we can get the rights to it to do it too for the cartoon.
So I have a question for you because I could have sworn I've learned so much from you ever since I started like getting into toy hunting. Like I remember watching your videos and I felt stupid because I didn't even know there was a collector spot at Target. Like, that's how dumb I felt. And I was like, I'm searching up and down normal toy aisles. So all my Targets out here are getting remolded. And so what they've done is they've taken that collector section and they've put it in the toy section. And I could have sworn you told me that, like, because of like the agreement that NECA had with like Nickelodeon, like specifically to the Turtles, they're not supposed to be in the toy aisle.
No.
And now at Target, all that stuff is in the toy aisle. And I'm like, I thought these weren't supposed to be here.
They're not. They can't be in the same aisle. So, if they put the NECA ones on an end cap, you know, or something like that, like I've seen them do that in some of our Targets here too, then I think they're okay with the agreement stuff. But like a lot of mine, they're doing the same thing. They're redoing them all. We still have the collector area. We still have that in you know, over in the entertainment area.
Mine's a mess.
And it's crazy too, because they've got a whole lot of stuff there, like tons and tons of, like, NECA just came out, like, everybody, I think they got the word. They're like, we want to buy your stuff. There's just none of it here. We can't get it. And now there's like a plethora of it. You go to any Target, there's NECA everywhere now. Like, I don't know how many times I can see a T-1000 or a T-800 from Terminator or a Predator or an Alien. And it's like, they have all of them. But even that, they're bringing out all the reissues too. Like, I just saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface again. Saw the Friday the 13th. Like, they're bringing all of these back out again, which I think is cool, because that gives collectors that didn't get it the first time have a chance to get it. But some of the things I wish they would reissue are like the certain Predators that have never had a release. You know, like some of the elder Predators, some of the Lost Clan ones, because those were on cards. They weren't in a box, you know.
Oh, that's right.
And so when those came out like 5 years, 6 years ago, they've never got a re-release. The only one that really that I got lucky with was the Ahab Predator. The Ahab Predator came out 2 or 3 times, but everybody else gone. Not so much around. And then I found some random stuff too. Hey, it's Simon. I hope you're still here. So I got these for my boy Simon. AEW, it's CM Punk and Adam Page, and these are Walmart exclusives. And so the way the case goes, you get 2 of these to, like, I think 6 of these. So I am a fan of CM Punk. So of course I got mine too. You know, I got the only 2 they had. So I'm like, I got.
So that means someone just put out a case.
Somebody just brought it, because I saw the other 4 or 5 pages still out there. So I was like, okay, yeah, because I missed out when they had the elite, like the WWE elite ones of CM Punk years and years ago, because ours just didn't have them. So I just said, all right, I'm grabbing these ones. Not going to play around. I've been looking for it. You guys know I've been hunting for it for a while. Every time I look at AEW, that's what I want to find. I want to find that one CM Punk. And now I'm done. So, yay, one hunt done.
I think the last time, the last time I found one figure for somebody, I think it was Big Bad Vader, Eddie Vader.
Yeah, the elite one.
It was like the last one, because I remember he got scalped. Like, I remember seeing him pop up on forums. So he was, because he's a big figure, he was heavy. No pun intended, because he was heavy in real life too, but a sweetheart. But like, he was going for like $80-$90 on the aftermarket, and I think I picked up like 2 or 3 for people. Just be like, hey, I've been scalped already. I'm like, I got a handful. So I sent one to like Nate Van over in Indiana. I think I got you one, and I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah,
now there's a plethora of those things.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing is, like, I think it's Mattel, or I think that's the one who does WWE. They've been reissuing a lot of these elite figures over and over and over again, but in, like, they'll say like greatest hits, or they'll say like movie star or something. Like, I saw I always picked it up, was the Rowdy Roddy Piper from They Live. and I saw it in the WWE Elite box. I'm like, this looks pretty good. But then I've seen the NECA one too. The NECA one looks better. Um, but my biggest thing is, I've been on a kick lately for the thing. So trying to find the thing figures has been fun. Um, and mine, the only ones I've got the
ones
the
I found for
two
you.
the two that Carl found for me, and then I got another one that came in yesterday, and I'll show that off here in a little bit.
Yeah, because I think they have the dog for that one coming out.
The dog's coming out. It's supposed to come out next year, I think.
Oh.
So yeah, they have the dog that came out, and then they have the actual thing, the guy with the NECA Online one. It's the Comic-Con version, but that one is like little movies like that is what I like to get. Of course, Evil Dead. If it's Evil Dead, I'm going to get it regardless. I don't care. And now I've been seeing the aftermarket for some of these figures, like my Evil Dead 2-pack, is going for $200 now. And it's like, holy crap, And some of these figures they've been reissued, but some of them haven't. Like the, which one? Or is Ed? Ed is the one that is the reason why that damn price is so up there now. They've never reissued them since that original box set came out. So that's going to be the fun part. Is like, if you guys are NECA collectors, you'll see they'll reissue so many of these things over time. Like Ash Williams has been redone, I don't know how many times. Like, remember when we saw the white Evil Dead 2 box in Walmart? Hey, Solo. We saw those everywhere. We saw the black box one over at Targets. We saw the regular Evil Dead that just came out, from the Collecticon. And then
the blue box one.
Yep, the one you found me, the one that got killed. And I was like, oh, I was so sad.
I can actually find like 15 of those right now. All I'm doing right now when I see those is I'm trying to find the one to see if there's the signature that's in it. That's all I'm doing for now, because I see that one and then the Ash versus Evil Dead, so the primarily yellow with the black lines across it. I open up all those. If I find one with a signature in it, it's like it's coming home and it's going to you.
Yep. And it's only the blue one. It's only the blue one. So the yellow one is Ash versus Evil Dead, and that's been reissued 30 times almost.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome, Dude Dog. What's up, James?
What's up, fellas? Mr. Scooter, what's up?
It's Friday.
It is Friday, brother.
It is Friday. And today's been a crazy day from Hasbro. I'll tell you that.
It's crazy because these jokers, they smart, man. I mean, of course they are. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And I think we forget about that sometimes. But they had everybody's panties in a wad the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. And then today they just brought out the first love of X-Men and just epicness. And I was like, you're forgiven, Hasbro. Not really, but you are. You're forgiven. I love you.
Not really. It's like, I haven't forgotten yet. But you got a little.
I haven't forgot you rose the price on every figure that you've done in the last 2 years, 3 times.
Yeah. I haven't forgot, but I'm. That spiral. Why is it so beautiful? Like, I don't know, man.
And I've actually got the page up, so let me show what Dudog's talking about.
Man.
And this is gonna be funny. Watch this. Share screen.
See, this is where I'm lucky by sticking to just third-party Transformers, because if not, like, I'd be divorced by now.
I mean, I get it.
Ooh.
So here is Spiral. Look at this, dude.
Sold out.
Okay.
What?
So
I'm glad I pre-ordered.
Let me guess. On eBay, people have already sold their pre-orders.
I guarantee.
Well, you know they've done that. Hey, that's the beauty of the toy community. I don't care if you only do Transformers, only do Mezco, only do Pops, whatever it might be. One thing's always the same. People always on eBay sell pre-orders, brother.
Oh yeah.
I saw that for that Mezco, was it the Christopher Reeve Superman?
Oh,
Right.
I remember seeing those up. HasLab Unicron pre-orders were being sold on eBay. I'm like, why would you even? And you're seeing that they're sold. Why would you even do that?
Yeah. Now eBay will, believe it or not, they will. They don't like that. They'll actually take some of those posts down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they're actually, according to them, almost considered scams because it's not an actual item that you actually have yet.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you're technically scamming. I mean, I hate to use that word, but I mean, you're
also she's gonna come on a card.
Yeah. So the reason why I wanted to bring up Spiral, before today, this figure would go from what, $150, $200 at the minimum,
dude, and people paid it.
And people will still pay for it. Everybody's wanted this figure for years.
Now, the beauty of us OG people, thank the Lord, I was one of those, I got that Joker way back when it was released. So it was like $15. But that was one of the rare, that was years ago too, though.
That's when you could find it on a peg.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Epic Heroes line. And the hard part was there was one Spiral to that case, and everybody wanted that figure. And so now everybody that had been overpaying, we're actually given a chance. And like Rashford brings up today, Entertainment Earth's already got it. Spiral is not a Hasbro exclusive. So your Dorkside toys, your Chosen Primes that collect Legends, that you're going to be able to get it. So they're making it readily available. So Hasbro is doing good about that. It was on Amazon too, as well. So I'm glad to see it come out because I've got a 3-pack I ordered with Mojo, Longshot, and Dazzler. So Spiral goes perfectly with that, and
sure.
But I've always wanted that figure. Like that one and the Archangel were always out of my grasp, because
that sucker right there, it got way past the $100 mark. Archangel.
Oh yeah.
And that X-Force version, that Joker was selling for $200 all day long.
And it is again.
And it's still selling. Yeah.
That 3-pack is expensive now, for Archangel, Wolverine, and Psylocke.
Yes, and I'm just talking about just Archangel now from that 3-pack by himself. $200,
and it's crazy. It's like some of these Legends, we're talking 6-inch figures, people going for $150, $200, and people will buy it. And it's not a Mafex, it's not a Mezco, it's not even a mini Hot Toy or anything. But we're talking about the cost. So, a friend of mine, Darth Vader from California, he brought up a really good thing the other day. I heard. He's like, okay, there's a $200 Mafex Qui-Gon Jinn, but then there's a $250 Hot Toy 12-inch version of Qui-Gon Jinn. Why wouldn't I just spend $50 more and get a 12-inch that looks way better than the Mafex, and then just be done with it? And so like Mikey, he's been on the channel a couple of times. Mikey is an exclusive Hot Toys guy. That's one of his things he collects is just Hot Toys. He'll collect other stuff too, but you get to ever see it. He's got a ton of them.
When Cable was announced, dude, it was a must. It wasn't even a thought for me, man.
Exactly.
It was like they got me on that one.
It was like I had the Punisher War Machine, and that was one of my favorite ones ever. Things changed and I had to sell a lot, but that was one of my favorite ones because it was a comic book series I love to read, where Punisher stole War Machine's armor from S.H.I.E.L.D. and he decides to go kill everybody in it, So I was like, that's a cool concept. And then they made it into a figure. Same way with that, the Venom pool, the big Venom pool that they had from Hot Toys. That was a nice one, made on the Hulk body, and I love seeing stuff like that, But I also like today, I like to see things coming back out, Now, granted, that Spiral has been completely updated with today's articulation compared to a lot, It's got double jointed elbows, they're pinless. You don't see the pins anymore in the legs. It's got 6 arms. So you remember like when James was making the 6-arm Spider-Man years and years ago. It's like Hasbro's listening somewhat. They're not listening with the pricing. They're listening with the figures themselves, trying to give us options.
And yet, the wild thing is like the Spiral there again. How you gonna do that thing? Freaking 6 arms, fully articulated, pinless, whatever. Tons of freaking weapons on a card. I mean, dude, that's like the epitome of the perfect action figure, where you can see it. We complained about the new packaging. Well, guess what? You can see. I mean, it's wild. It's like y'all can do that for $25.
Yeah,
like,
but that brings me up to my next point, and let's do this. My sore spot with Hasbro for this week.
Just this week.
Nah,
always.
No, I'm saying just this week.
This is my sore spot.
That's like the entire community sore spot.
Yeah. Well,
it's got them divided, anyways.
And they wouldn't even talk about this during the HasCon today.
Can you blame them? They didn't even bring it up.
Well, let's see. We at 54.81.
Now, 3 days ago, it was at 6,100 backers.
Yeah. And then they dropped, we had 600 drop in a day, like literally almost a day.
Dang.
And when you want to know some of the reason why, right here. So if they would have met, the goal of 9,000 as of last week, everybody was going to get a full version of a Robbie Reyes human form figure. Then what did they say this week? It all changed. Okay, well, we're going to give you the head, and the cape. And what happened? It went up. The actual count went up. People are like, okay, well, we're going to get the head so we can just swap it ourselves. That wasn't the point. The point was you were supposed to get a whole complete figure.
Right.
So here's my second part. I want to go with this. So $350, right, for this. So literally you're just getting him, the head, the LEDs, $350. Okay. Right here. His tank. $300.
Yeah.
That sucker's massive, dude.
It's massive. We get three figures with this one. We get the driver, we get Cobra Commander, and then you get the gunner. And then you get all, here's LEDs. Here's LEDs here. You get this. You get the tank treads. You get the covers. So for $50 less, you're getting way more.
That's the problem, though.
That's my point of consternation, is that the HasLabs are not equal.
Correct.
Is if you're
price versus value is way off.
It's
off.
Way complete off. Because you get all of this, him, and then these you get missile racks, you get the canopy, the skirts. Okay, let's keep going.
A lot of swappable parts.
You get another figure here, another Cobra, and then you get Cobra Commander. So what I don't understand is like for $300, you're getting 3 figures, a massive tank that fits for 6-inch figures. And then you go back to Ghost Rider at $350. You're not getting your investment, is what I'm saying. Is that you're getting a car with some flame effects, an LED, and 1 figure. Okay. This same car, you can go buy one. Like we were joking the other day, but we were talking that the Bratz cars or like those other cars for $20 to $50. They look identical. You can go buy those same kind of cars for $20 to $50. Fits a 6-inch figure. And guess what?
Wait, does Dudog have a Bratz figure?
Oh yeah, look.
The car, not the figure, but that's the car.
Exactly.
And it's got the NWO Mattel. Now these are larger than Marvel Legends.
Yeah, those are
That
7
shows
inch.
you how, LED lights. I mean, hold on. There we go. Freaking FM radio that actually plays whatever,
Wow.
the tail lights. The doors open, the hood opens, the trunk opens, the freaking glove compartment opens.
Yeah.
$37 and some change on Amazon.
Yeah.
This week.
And so, yeah, and here's
and we have a ton of talented fabricators in the toy world that could do wonders with that thing for a fraction of the cost.
Oh yeah, custom for $100-$200. It'd be tricked out and have everything. Like, remember when everybody was making Punisher bands for the Mezco Punishers? Everybody was buying all these cheap van toys from Walmart.
I did it, man.
I know.
It was the Cowabunga Carl Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle van. That was a true 1/12 scale, 6-inch scale van, and everybody was buying them cheap on eBay, man. And that sucker did all kind of stuff,
And that's my hard part with Hasbro is that you do all this great stuff for like 6-inch figures, and then they do all the opposite bad stuff for another 6-inch figure. It's like there's no $25 for everything with Spiral versus $350 for Ghost Rider. Oh, and by the way, what was it? Not even 2 years ago, you got the original Ghost Rider with his bike for $40.
For $40, and it went on crazy sale too for Target was trying to clear that for like $19.95. I remember that. I found it because I remember I took a picture and I was like, "Hey man, would you take this for $19.95?" He's like, "Do you have to ask?" I was like, "Okay." That and the punch. So,
and that's the Ghost Rider. That is I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm not sorry. Robbie Ray is.
It's not Ghost Rider,
folks. Just saying. I mean, it ain't Johnny.
I mean, but you have to understand though, for the concept. So Marvel is trying to do something a lot different today to meet with today. So a lot of people who grew up now being Marvel fans watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so then your Ghost Rider was a Latino. It's changed.
Right.
Marvel's even gone to the aspect too to make the new version of Bruce, instead of it being Bruce Banner, Hulk is now an Asian kid. So it's like they're trying to change up these things to be more diversity inclusive. So you can't blame them for doing it. I think the concept in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was really cool. I didn't like the fact that he could basically jump from person to person to person. I didn't think I thought that was kind of dumb. But I still think but I still think the concept of Robbie Reyes I thought was pretty cool. And I'm not so into comics as you guys are. I just like doing the fact is like I felt it worked because yes, I grew up, with Johnny Blaze and all that stuff. But I do think the way that they did it did work, and that is going to help a lot of people. I just don't see the price because even then you could go a step further and you can look at what you paid for Galactus, what you paid for a Sentinel, what you paid for the Barge. And if you really look at that and you go to that concept too, the price versus value was there. You got a lot of stuff, something that's going to stand there. And I just I didn't even know that was going on with that HasLab for the next one being the Ghost Rider. I just didn't see any value in it because right now I don't even see the fact that the quality is even there.
No.
Well, Scooter, Valaverse, anything about Bobby Valaverse? He used to work for Hasbro and then he started his own figure line. Well, anyway, he literally left Hasbro. Like, this was one of the top dudes.
Yeah.
And the guy started his own action figure. Actually, let me show you. He started his own fig company. Let's see. I got 2 examples right here.
You got the Slaughter.
He made these guys.
Yeah.
And Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, wow.
So he left Hasbro and made incredible things like this, which is insanely articulate. Just like, heck, it's actually like the G.I. Joes, the Hasbro, the new G.I. Joe. It's more in line with that. Anyways, but what he said the other night on a live stream was the Galactus, the Sentinel HasLab, just his arm had more articulation and engineering than the entire Robbie Reyes car. Yeah. And that's what he was talking about the value is in there. Because you get a freaking Sentinel, just one arm was more value in that one arm than it is in this whole, and I think everybody can get that. It's like, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't bring up the knees.
Right, yeah. That is
sorry.
true.
Sorry. I know I hit Hasbro with another low blow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. See,
Well,
I
this-
don't have a dog in the fight
I think it's
because,
imposing. I like it.
I mean, Marvel Legends is what made my channel straight up. That's what I had. At one point, I owned every single, especially Hasbro Marvel that every exclusive, blah, da, 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 da. But even that, I never one time backed a single HasLab. That's just my personal thing, and nothing again. I'm glad everybody, whoever does, awesome. I'm happy for everybody. I just think it's kind of whack that, you know, these guys made $3.4 billion profit last year. Why can't you put the Hiss tank on the Target shelf? Don't say it's too big, because I just bought a massive Transformer and the box was freaking this large on a Target shelf. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me. Like I said, so I'm like, man, there's no reason I couldn't go in there and buy the Sentinel or buy the Galactus. I mean, I'm just saying, dude, like, or let me pre-order it. And I ain't worried about the backing. So I don't know. That's just weird to me. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way. So Walmart had the 3.75 Hiss tanks. Remember? They had those retro ones for $25.
Right.
Okay, we're talking about blowing up that Hiss tank from here to like here.
Right.
Just to fit that. People do this all the time, especially in the Transformer side. We got, you know, what we call MPP, you know, which was Black Mamba, you know, all those guys. And they would oversize a current MP size to a bigger size. And it would still be $100, you know, for the actual bigger version. You know, and then the original could still be $100 to $200. But for $100, you got a lot more. You got die cast, you got everything in it. There's no excuse why Hasbro cannot just blow that Hiss tank up and sell that at the store.
Those that don't know, those that are watching, like what I'm saying, like if I can go get this guy, and I thought that was a huge box, and then this sucker is even larger, and that was both of those I found personally on Target shelf.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And it's still Hasbro. It's still the same company. Like,
exactly.
I don't know, man. It's just weird. But
well, and we all know one company, you know, one side doesn't talk to the other. If you look at Black Series, I feel bad for Star Wars fans. I really do. You get a blaster and maybe
they
one.
Still got single jointed elbows.
Single jointed elbows. You get one lightsaber and then hard rigid plastic where they can't even stand up half the time. You know,
well,
and
we talked about so the last time I was on, I mentioned this, and you know the reason why is because they got to pay royalties for stuff like that. The stuff that they own, G.I. Joe and Transformers, they can throw in as much as possible. But if you're going to pay out, then you know darn well that you're going to be like, well, cool. If we're not going to make as much money on you, Black Series, they're just like, Star Wars basis is there, so they don't really care. That's kind of like in addition.
Yeah, they're going to just get it.
Yeah.
Regardless, because you know people are going to buy a bunch of stormtroopers. People are going to buy like a bunch of Mondo figures to just be happy with having like an army build or whatever, you know. And I don't know, kind of like the only good figure I've seen over the last couple of years, with honestly no harm to anybody, is that Jar Jar Binks that came out like 6 or 7 months ago. Actually looked like he was painted, had detail, and actually looks really cool. All the other ones, face sculpts kind of half par.
I saw the Mads Mikkelsen figure a couple weeks ago from that new Star Wars wave, and it actually looks like Mads Mikkelsen. I'm like, dude, I just want to steal the head off of it to go make a Hannibal figure, you know, from the TV show.
So tell them to put them in the Transformers boxes, and you can do that.
Yeah.
It's rich in it.
It's just crazy. It's like some of the face stuff looks so good on Star Wars. And even on MCU, it's looking all better and better over time. But man, today, oh my gosh, the selfie stuff, yeah, that is so bad.
Dude, I'm laughing my freaking butt off, dude. Like, I just can't do it, man. It just looked so ridiculously cheesy. Everybody that posts theirs, they need to wait, man.
Yeah,
technology advanced, so I'm on all that.
But I mean, but here's the thing though, like there are. So I watch a lot of tech stuff as well. So it's WKHD, whatever. So he's a YouTuber, does a lot of technology stuff. He actually had like, it wasn't really posable, but like there are places that you can go to where you can do like you can literally turn yourself into an action figure.
Yeah,
That look way better than that. Like to me, that's something
exactly
that's really for like that version just to me looked like what you do for a kid who really wouldn't care.
right. Well, what you're saying, actually, let me think about because I actually did one, and I mean, buddy, they had when I don't have a hat on, it's like a faux hawk, not a mohawk, but anyway, it was oh my god, myactionfigure.com or something like that. But that's what they do. You scan the face. They've been doing that for years, and it looked freaking like me, man. I mean, it was weird. I mean, it was freakishly weird, and it looked better than. And I bought that like 3 years ago. It looked better than what Hasbro's doing or trying to do with the selfie, whatever.
Well, like you remember, Mikey did that. Remember, he did that head sculpt, that one you had a while back. It looks just like Mikey. Like literally, you look at the figure and you look at Mikey, you're like, for $30 to do the head.
Yes. Oh,
and I'm like, and it fits in like almost any size, figure.
Now, what Scooter's talking about though is a little different than Mikey. Actually had somebody which did a phenomenal job because it does look like him actually customized it and painted it.
Yeah.
What he's talking about though, and what I'm talking about is actually a 3D rendering, just like Hasbro's trying to do. It was more effective looking.
Yeah.
So like Mikey, like I said, he actually had somebody make it for him. But I'm talking about like a random, like it's an actual online thing website. That you can anyway, but yeah, it's the same technology. It just looks better. So
yeah, because I know you said it was 3D printed. His was too. But the thing is, like customizers, they'll go add paint, and stuff like that. But
that's what I mean. His was a little hand painted, touched up, or whatever.
But it's just crazy. Like we have the things today that can do that, and it's like, why would Hasbro not do that? Like. If you're going to charge $60 and maybe $80, is like, because that's the concern we had today is like, they just talked about, they're raising the price to $80,
After they told everybody it was 60. Yeah.
Yeah. And so today it was $60,
But that's for Hasbro Pulse memberships though.
Yep.
So your average Joe, I don't even have Hasbro Pulse, but if I logged in and went to buy that, I'd have to pay $80. Nate, I think you're a member, but you'd pay $60. I'd pay $80. Like it's like okay, like all right.
Oh, I'm not a member anymore. I stopped paying for that.
Oh, I don't blame you.
I think the only time it was profitable to even be a Hasbro Pulse member is when they did the STCC exclusive for the Ghostbuster Prime, where members got him for like $150. Other than that, it's just been trash. To be my personal opinion, but like the reason why I think they would do what they're going to do is that, they're behind in the technology, but this is a perfect avenue to get people in to buy a crap product to then in 6 months have them do it again, jack it up by $5 or $10, new technology. And then they're going to get the suckers to like do it again just to get it to be a little bit better.
Well, like, there you go. That's the market ploy.
It is. And it's really sad because like we know the technology's there. Anybody who's been to like expos and whatever, we kind of see that. Like, how do you think most of these places get to where they're at? They've been using for the past probably at least 8 to 10 years. Like when they digitally de-age somebody, how do you think they're doing that? It's a 3D scan of a body. AI, you can reduce it. It's like it's been happening for a while. You're going to do it for a toy. And it's sad because they've actually been doing that technology regardless. And Hasbro even announced that for the Black Series. They have been doing that for the figures that go in line with the latest movies and TV shows. Yeah. They've already been doing it. So if you're using that technology and you're making some of those figures look really, really good, others look absolutely god-awful, you find that sweet spot, you'll be able to make everybody happy. But no, they want to do things in tiers because they can just soak it up.
I'm glad you said that because that's actually a great point. And that goes to show like people like me, I'm like, man, the reason I'm not spending that because like you just said, I have had custom figures. I have had ones of my own self and they look way better and for way cheaper. I think it was like $40 for the one I was telling y'all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, why would I spend $80 when I spent $40 like 3 years ago? Like it don't make no sense. That's
Mm-mm.
why I'm glad you brought that up. That's why I'm not, because I just know there's better technology out there. I mean, it is what it is.
Well,
And here's, but I was gonna, this is what also separates collecting. It's that we know price versus value when we see things, and so that's like you guys brought up like 2 or 3 weeks ago when you talked about the fact like why would you go for a Mezco versus going for like a Black Series? Well, cool, I can get all of this out of the Mezco, or a statue.
The accessories and all that.
But like when you look at who, if you really think about who the overall market is to, whether you collect Chug Transformers, Black Series, whatever, it's usually going to be for the 12, 13, 14-year-old, whatever. Well, I might be pushing a little further, but like it's usually for kids. You know, they're not doing enough for us. But when we see something that scratches that itch or whatever, then we know we're going to pounce on it, which is usually what they're also preying on as well. But if most of their stuff is going to come from the fact that a kid walks in with their parent into a store and we see that, we know it's subpar by our standards, but that child falls in love with it and you know it makes them happy, then we're going to do that.
Yep.
Right.
So like you have all these different avenues of how they can tackle it. It's just, I mean,
the kid, I mean, we talked about it a couple of weeks back.
Well,
kids owl, like that's what us collectors don't understand. They could eliminate everything. Everybody in this chat right now collects, and we would be irrelevant because they don't care. They're making their money on those little kids. It's straight up. I saw it with my own eyes. This woman comes in with her little 8-year-old, and I've got 11, 9, and a 3-year-old. But the woman comes in with her like 8 or 9-year-old, and she's like picks up a Marvel Legends Spider-Man and sees the price. It was like $19.99 or $20, and she's like, "Nah," puts it back on the peg and goes over there with a little Titan Hero, little 5-point articulation for $8, and she buys her son the $8 Spider-Man, and they walk out. So you know, like that's what's bringing the cheddar in. Like,
because that's the thing is like the Legends, the Black Series, all that's catered towards us. That's for us as collectors. Right. You know, they can say, no, it's for the kid. No, it's not. You know, that's not who's buying. If you look at the demographic of who's buying this stuff, it is us. You know, and that's how it's always going to be because we were the ones who been there as kids during that time. Now, granted, back in the Toy Biz days, that would have been a true statement that would have been kids buying it because we were kids. We were younger. Because, you know, Dew was talking about having every Legend. I was the same way. And, you know, but I had every Toy Biz as well in combination with all the Hasbros. And I still think Toy Biz still does better paint today than Hasbro ever has.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I mean,
Hasbro hasn't made a figure yet that has the sculpt or paint that the Toy Biz Sentinel had. The Toy Biz Sentinel Build-A-Figure.
Yeah. Oh, the Build-A-Figure.
You can't name a Hasbro Marvel Legend that looked like that Sentinel, man.
No.
I mean,
even their HasLab's not even close.
Yeah, and even the HasLab, that blows my mind. This $400 or whatever it was, $300 figure. And don't get me wrong, it's amazing. It's huge. Besides the weak knees, like Scooter said, but the paint, like it wasn't whippity doo. It was molded plastic. Like what? Yeah. Okay.
I think the only Marvel Legends, like what I've collected for Simmons to find stuff for him, I think the only stuff I've been impressed with was the 2-pack of Old Man Logan and Hawkeye. I think was the only thing. When I looked at it, I was sitting there being like, and it still wasn't painted. Like, I don't think it was painted, but it definitely, to me, had what I don't see in most of them, which is presence. Like, you saw weathering. You saw aging on the clothes. Like, to me, that was really, really impressive. And other times I look at these figures, to me, I'm just kind of like, okay, they popped off the head. They put something new on. That's what I see, like, 9 times out of 10. Mm-hmm. But that 2-pack to me was impressive.
That Hawkeye, that Old Man Hawkeye or whatever, dude, that's like in the Marvel Legends community anyways, that's like the most used head. They use it for Magneto. They use it for all the Old Man Frank Castle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like the best head sculpt. It's funny you said how you being a Transformer guy thought that was a good one, and you're right. I mean, it was so good that everybody uses it for freaking everything, besides Hawkeye,
And that was a Target exclusive, if I'm mistaken, because that was when there were two 2-packs that came out with him, and then there was the whole Deadpool 2 line.
Yeah,
with those 2-packs that came out. And what was funny is that like in the beginning, all the Deadpool stuff was gone and nobody touched that. And then suddenly everything flipped. And then there was a whole bunch of Deadpool stuff and Squirrel Girl in her little scooter.
Yeah.
Oh,
sitting
in
there.
the scooter. Oh my god.
That thing,
You should have bought that. You should have bought that for yourself because it's a scooter.
I know. I think about it all the time. But that thing got down to $10 at my Target. It was $10. They were trying to give it away. But yeah, no, I was most impressed because I picked that one up for Simmons, and I was impressed because I just think overall, I think the quality of that product to me was bar none probably the best I've seen in store for a Marvel Legends.
Yeah,
that was $39.99, I think.
Yeah, that was
roughly around that area.
But if you think about it, that makes sense. It's 2 Marvel Legends. At that time, they were $20 each.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're at $25 each for a Legend. And that's why I don't understand. Like Spiral, all the stuff you get for $25.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And then
it don't make no sense.
And then you get a Thor or a Captain
Which
America.
I'm not complaining because I mean, dang.
You already bought it.
Don't worry, Hasbro ain't gonna listen to this.
No, yeah.
But that's what I don't understand is like looking at like a Thor figure or a Captain America, which gets one accessory, and they're still $25 too at the same time now. Oh, and by the way, we got rid of all of our windows. You can't see the box no more. It's all all paper, the wax paper. Like I spend more time now tearing open wax paper, just trying to get the accessories out.
Bro. And then not trying to do a commercial for my own self, because that sounds conceited, but I did a review on that new Mojo.
The Mojo, yeah.
That freaking came out of nowhere. Nobody knew about that bullcrap. Like, it literally came out of nowhere. And, dude, I opened the box to do my review, and there's like, what, Nate? You saw it was like 10 or 12
baggies,
tissue papers, and each part was in. I mean, you could throw that away. I could see somebody losing something by throwing. It's trash. It looks like a pile of trash, is what it looks like.
I remember
balled up tissue paper.
And even Hasbro told the Transformers guys, they're like, don't throw away the paper. Check everything because you might have blast effects. Or you might have stuff you're going to throw away. Because you know what? That's what we usually do. We're like, okay, it's just an extra piece of paper. Throw it away.
Dude.
Yeah. And it's like, I did that. You know what I did that with? I did that with Studio Series Scourge from the movie. I threw away that paper, not realizing his blast effect was in there. So I'm like, crap, I got his gun, but I don't have his blast effect. And you can't find a Studio Series Scourge to save your life now. You can find a sweep all day.
Right. Thanks, Hasbro.
Oh, I was going to say, like, yeah, that when I was thinking back to it, I was like, oh, damn, no, not a Scourge, but I can find sweep.
Yeah. But it's just like, okay, but I'm not going to go like digging. Like a Scourge goes for $50 now. I'm not going to go spend $50 on a $30 figure,
Yeah,
it's like for a blast effect.
Part that you threw away.
And that's one thing for Transformers. So being like a Transformer fan, like one thing that kind of bothered me is when I bought like Black Zarek and all that stuff, I was kind of like, okay, so I just spent $170 and you gave me one blast effect. One. But I've got like 30, but I've got 30 ports on my guy to put that stuff on, and you gave me one. I was like, Hasbro just needs to start selling bags of blast effects for like $20-$25 and just have like a plethora of
I don't
them.
get
because the only one that came with a good amount of blast effects was Jetfire.
Yeah, Jetfire came with like 6 or 8.
I
actually was the only one. Garbage.
But you know what was sad was like, remember we had the little Titan Masters or the whatever they were. They all came with their own individual blast effects, but we couldn't get blast effects with the deluxe editions. Like none of the deluxes, none of the Voyagers came with it. The Leaders didn't come with it either. So it was either the Supreme class or the Legends class or whatever it's called. But now Titan Master, whatever, and now we have the Core class, which is Hasbro's Legends class. It's all it is. It's like I got the wheelie the other day, and I'm like, I was showing I was like, man, I'm having fun with this little wheelie, just making them do all kinds of weird shit. And I'm like stomping on the. I did one where he was stomping the fake wheelie that came with Grimlock.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, the hollow wheelie that only could do the weird twerking position.
Yeah, I ended up having Wheelie and Ratchet stomping on the fake Wheelie, and then
Yeah, that was actually hilarious.
but I was just like, man, this is. I mean, that's kind of the thing is like, we're getting to the point now of like, okay, core class. These used to be $4.99, $5.99.
$11.99 now.
They're $9.99 now.
Man.
So if y'all don't mind, one of y'all, it don't matter, Scooter or Nate, because I actually don't know. So, and maybe somebody in the chat listening, like, how does the Transformers break down in these classes? Like, okay, so from what I've noticed, just an outsider kind of just owning, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 10 Transformers right here in my whole collection. And that's because I'm an 80s kid and I grew up on it just like y'all did. Anyway, so when I go into Target or whatever and I see, okay, you see the little bitty ones, and then you see the ones that's like this, and then of course you get, ones that's like that, and then you get the big guys. Like, are those the different classes or what?
There's different,
I don't know.
yeah, they're different classes. So let me see.
And to go a little bit further, so like when you talk about Chug, so what you can go and buy in at Target and stuff, you've got your series there, and then for those of us who collect third party, they've got things like the Legend scale, which is the smallest. Then there's like a Chug scale that kind of fits in between, which is where Mastermind Creation comes in, and then you got your third party masterpiece. But yeah, there's even in between like your Titans class, there's a leader class, which is where Jetfire fell into.
Yeah.
And then there's a big class below that, and then there's like 3 more classes. And it's just, and they've changed the names like 5 times over, but Simmons knows this is where.
So while Simmons looking and you're talking, so okay, what do these guys land in right here? Like, what
okay, so your Metroplex is a Titan class.
Okay.
Titan, yeah.
Yeah, that's Titan. That's the biggest you're gonna get. Same thing with the Arc. The Arc falls into the Titan class.
So they're kind of Titans. What about these guys?
Those, I believe, that's the new leader class. The Galvatron is a leader class.
Okay.
I think Simmons will be able to answer that better because this is where it kind of gets like foggy.
So,
all right,
it's changed over time.
The biggest ones.
Yeah, Titan's the biggest one. Like on even the Titan class has changed over time. So here, let me grab something.
It's the Museum of Simmons right now.
He's got to go
to. Oh yeah.
Hey, look who I'm building right now. Ain't that the same guy? Yeah.
So this used to be the Titan class. So this was the in-between. What's up, Surrounding Games? So this was the old school Combiner Wars Devastator.
Oh man, 18 inches.
Yeah, 18-inch one.
Before I'm building as we speak.
Yeah.
But I'm not a transformer guy, so it's taking me like a week to build one hand. So
let me see it. Oh, you got the Generation Toy one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is third generation toy is a third. It's a third party.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. That's a third.
So you're gonna have like way more articulation and sculpt to yours, but for
like this
for Mainline, this was a really good figure when it came out especially for combined.
Official Hasbro is what Nate.
This is the Hasbro one. So this was the Titan class back then. Now the ones you bought, the Arc, and the Metroplex, those are Titan class today.
But they're 20.
They're 22 to 24 inches typically. 20, maybe 20 inches depending on who it is. Those are the biggest ones. The next step down is Supreme class. That's your Jetfires. That's your Motor Master.
Skylinks is on that one right too. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's a Supreme class. And then you've got this is the leader class now. This is
right.
Yeah, so this is Galvatron. Now, I'll come back to this in a minute. You got him.
Now, my Galvatron, is he a leader class too?
He's a leader class.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one with the chain around his neck.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is a Voyager class.
Mm-hmm. So a little smaller, like a smidge.
Yeah. So both of my collection are leader class. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see,
Voyager class.
I mean, they're not. It's not a whole lot, and I'll bring this back up in a minute. Same way with this Cyclonus. This is a Voyager. Okay, and then you get what most people buy. Typically, what people
Deluxe.
buy are deluxes. So, like,
Yep.
this is Impactor. This is a deluxe class. Okay,
Is that the Netflix series one, or is that the
Amazon one,
Oh, okay.
the Wreck and Rule. So
Yeah,
you
the 3-pack.
So is this guy a deluxe class?
No, that's a Voyager.
Okay.
He is a Voyager. And then what we call, well, it used to be Scout, but is Legends class.
Yeah.
And then you got Teeny Tiny.
Choking hazard.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's the ones that come in the little
pack. Yeah, this is a Titan Master.
Target or whatever.
And then he came with 2 blast effects, which these are the only ones you would get blast effects with, was these kind.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought, okay. And then, so what Scooter's talking about is this is a Legend, a third-party Legend size. So if you look at this one, what they kind of did, if you can see the height here.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to take any Legends class and play with a Legends class from Hasbro. And you were supposed to be okay with that. But this one, of course, is a third party. It transforms. It actually looks like Megatron, too. So that's kind of the differences in things. Now, what had happened before, everything used to be a lot bigger, you know, in the Transformers world. Let me see. Let me grab him. So this used to be the Legends class or the Leader class.
Okay.
Compared to this.
It was $10 cheaper.
Dang.
So,
larger and cheaper. Yeah,
larger, cheaper, you know. Now, granted, it doesn't have the articulation, you know, like we have today.
Right.
It doesn't have, but bigger, more denser. Like the plastic was heavier. There was more plastic used per item. And so that's kind of what happened. So like the Metroplex you have today used to be a lot smaller, you know, when it was in the Supreme class, you know, for Cybertron when Metroplex first came out. Okay. So we used to have, it used to be called Scout class, used to be Mega, Giga, and then you start going into your Supreme classes. So we had different words, different names for different sizes back then. What was that other one we had? We had, let's see, that Giga, Mega, Scout, Legends class has always been around. And then the Leader class Leader's always been around, but it's just changed over the years.
So as far as like scale, like I've noticed sometimes like the smallest ones, I've seen Soundwave, and then I've seen obviously regular Soundwave. So yeah. I mean, they just do that just so I guess is just in case somebody just specifically collects those little bitty ones and that's it.
Those are made for kids.
Soundwave that small or what?
No, the core class, Legends class, was made for kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they probably scale best also with your Titan figures. Like,
right.
Really, really want to get into it. That is probably what's going to look best if you were to
as far as scale is concerned.
But like, with that core class, they've got a Megatron, Starscream, Shockwave, Optimus Prime. All like the ones that they know they're going to sell on, but then they'll focus on things like some of the figures that they've done lately have been like the old school Pretenders, from the early 90s that they'll kind of throw in there, which will really pique people's interest to buy those. But normally, it's like he said, it's really just. And then Spike was the core class in his exosuit.
Oh yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him in person yet. I mean, I've seen him.
Neither have I.
I've never.
Like, that's one.
I've actually looked for him.
Well, in fact, I am still surprised, you dog, that you even found, like, I have not seen a Titan class figure at Target. I've seen, like, the crappy MP. Sorry, it's MPM, which is a movie masterpiece, which I don't like.
You can ask T-Man, Plastic Addict. You can ask Nate. I don't know what it is about my area of Georgia, and this ain't bragging, but bro, I mean, when I say find anything, like, dude, it's freaking crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like those both of those. There was 2 of them Metroplexes, 2 of them just sitting right there, and I'm like, let me go.
Nothing. I don't even have a barcode. Like, I look at mine. Like, I learned so much from Simmons. Like, looking for certain things, I will scan shelves and look at barcodes. Nothing. Right now, it's
they didn't even have your barcode on the shelf. Yeah, dang.
Yeah, so it's like for us, I don't think mine are even going to get them.
And some of that depends on what kind of target it is, what class of target it is.
Well, mine's the second to biggest one, so it's not the Great Lands, but mine's the one down from it. It's still huge, packed with groceries and everything else.
I don't get it either, man. Yeah, big old super target's what it is.
Yeah. Like my target I had in Santa Maria, it was called a Class C or a Class D target, and that means it's a real small one, so they don't get everything that everybody else got.
I mean, my joke is with George Johnson, Plastic Addict or whatever, he always, wonders why I never pre-order. I'm like, George, the 8 years 9 years now, I've been collecting, bro. I find everything, though. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know what it is right here in this part of Georgia. It's like, dude, like he's up pre-ordering all these NECA gargoyles. I'm like, no, dude, I'm going to see it.
Well,
Target shelf, like, and it's like clockwork. I'm like, I don't know why or how, but
I just found one of those the other day.
Yeah, well, it's because George is in scalper country, so George he ain't gonna find it because everybody's a collector, and and where he is at too. A lot of people will take and buy everything up, take it to Frankensons and go sell it.
Good point. That's a good point. There ain't nothing like that over here, so you ain't gonna find nothing nowhere near what a Frankensons is. Which I'm glad because that's whatever. But I've never been to Frankensons, but
Well, and that's the same reason. When I was in Warner Robins, the same thing. I mean, I had all these stores and nobody was really hunting. Like, I was finding stuff in TRU's been sitting there for years. Yeah, that's why I was so happy when I found freaking the Warpath 2-pack from the Uncanny X-Force. I'm like, dude, you guys still have this? And I'm like, and I was passing out. I'm like, can I buy this? Sure, it's $1.99. $1.99. Let me buy that real fast.
That's when your mind's blown.
Shut up and take my money.
Exactly.
Well, we were talking about that Phoenix 2-pack, Toys R Us exclusive. And bro, I got a video right now from years ago, obviously. But I got a buggy, and of course I'm sitting there trolling. Really, I'm laughing my butt off. I got a freaking buggy, and there's like 10 of those 2-packs in my buggy, in my cart. And it's just like, good Lord. Everybody's like, what?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, that's how. But it was like, I remember when I went to TRU, there was like 10 or 15 of those 2-packs just sitting there.
I believe it.
I'm like, oh, crap, that's a lot. Let me get a couple of them. And then I had everybody and their brother. Hey, Nate, can you get me that? Sure, I'll get it for you. Send me the funds. I'll get it for you. I'll get you hooked up. And I bought so many things. And nobody cared because nobody collected where I was at.
That's funny.
And then I ended up going to Ventura, and we had 2 TRUs. Not one, but 2.
Shoot.
Oh, dude, I was hitting TRU up every day. I was like, what y'all got today? I mean, I found every 2-pack, every 3-pack, you name it, I found it there. And it was me, Sal, and Braulio, and we got everything.
I get it. Like, my area is pretty good, but like there are certain things that I know are scalped first, which to me is G.I. Joe for first. Because like those sections are so far. I mean, all I can find is Common Commander and the Snake Eyes, the Snake Eyes movie figures. Those are still just sitting there. Yeah, but like I still haven't, like for Simmons, I'm still trying to find a Velocitron Cosmos. I still haven't seen one of those, but I've already seen like Blitzwing, which has been scalped already, and
Yup.
I think Scourge just got a reissue, so he's back up in Walmart. But like, I just like my target wasn't too bad by seeing the Universal Monster crossover figures. I did send some pictures to Simmons of like, I didn't know when they started doing this, but there's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2-pack with Stranger Things, and then there's another one with Street Fighter, and then they've also been doing the karate, and then there's 2 for the Karate Kid for Cobra Kai, I guess.
Turtles and
so I've seen all 4 of those, but like
unfortunately they have hoed out our TMTs, man, TMNTs, man. Just straight up hoed them out. Just a bunch of little turtle hoes. Like, here you go, Street Fighter.
They can hoe it out all day when they're giving me stuff like this.
Now that I've got, I love that. Now that's.
Oh, you didn't. You popped on afterwards. So yeah. So Simmons just had that one. So Simmons has got a nice box coming for him because I found Hunchback. So look, so check this out.
Yeah, that thing.
So there you're getting. So there's Leo. Thank God he comes with second face. But I mean, that's a thick. I mean, I'm 6'3". That's my height,
bro.
Then wait for it.
That's actually my favorite one so far because
that's
just
Mikey.
Looks incredible, man.
Yeah, look at those face sculpts on there. That's just without the glare.
It's wild.
And then we just hit our area.
See, wrong game. Said he got April and Raph.
See, I haven't seen April yet.
Oh, I've already seen about 50. No, it's like 50. About 9 or 10 of these already.
You know what's sad? That April right there looks better than the actual movie April. Like,
yeah, it does.
That's pretty sad.
Even the people who spent like $100 to get that special edition one, I felt bad for.
Yeah, which I was one of those guys. But
I did too.
I sold it when I sold my collection. So I made literally just made my money. I didn't make money on it, but I made my money back. So I was
and the other thing that I just saw at Target too, and I forgot to take a picture and send it to you, was Robocop just hit.
Oh damn! You gotta put down the list.
Oh, I know exactly where it is. I'll go get it because it looks good.
Yeah,
it looks.
I was about to say, man, that RoboCop looks great.
So of the latest movie ones that they've done, the RoboCop looked really, really good, and then the T-800, which I think was Walmart, from the original Terminator, where Arnie like storms the police station
with the jacket.
Wow! Oh, I remember finding that for Julio. Dang, that thing was like that's off the screen. Is how good it is, and that's what the RoboCop is like. Man,
wrong games, man. Jump in the chat, buddy. Jump on in the video with us.
Yeah, come on.
So, because I'm gonna have to split in a second, but I know exactly where that is, so that I can go get because that's exactly the same store that I found.
Yeah, that RoboCop
all of these at. Yeah, so I can go grab him probably tomorrow.
Nate can send you the link, buddy. You can join us.
Yeah, PM me.
So I guess there's one thing I want to show before I split because it was just my birthday on Tuesday.
Oh, happy birthday! How old are you?
I'm 40. I said goodbye to the 30s. So one of my buddies for the Transformer game group. So we talked about like how creative people are.
Dang.
So this is IDW. So this is Tarn. And so this is I can wear this, but I'm not that goofy. But I think this is amazing. So this is actually 3D printed. This guy actually lives here in Arizona, and he actually sent this to Bobby Skullface. Not this one, but he sent this to Bobby to review. And at first, when I watched the video, I was like, I've seen better. But then I got this thing up, and I just kind of like look at it on my computer all the time. Like I'm always glancing over it. I'm like, all I need to do is get LED lights to kind of brighten up these eyes. But yeah, this is from Grant Zarchi from the game group. So he got me this for my birthday. I'm
that's really awesome, dude.
Because Simmons just sent me the picture of, so Hasbro is doing Tarn, which is interesting because that's an IDW line. And so Hasbro's actually now, when speaking about going to the adults, IDW Comics is definitely much more for adults.
Yeah, so here, before you run out, let me show that real fast.
That's a sick little mask, man. Congratulations.
So, awesome. Thank you. And so it's based off the Decepticon symbol, and Tarn is part of what's called the DJD, which is like basically like the law enforcement for the Decepticons. They went after Decepticons who abandoned their faction.
Yeah.
Oh, they are totally like this guy to me like is nuts. Yeah,
So
he's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is the new Hasbro Voyager version of him.
He needed to be bigger.
Yeah, I mean, he should be leader class because of that. But remember in IDW, he was still a little smaller than Megatron. So
yeah, that's true.
So has he ever been a figure?
Not in from Hasbro.
Yeah, not officially.
We have it from Flames Toys. Flames Toys did the Tarn.
Yeah, and MMC did a Tarn.
And MMC, that MMC was my Tarn forever until I got the Flame Toys one.
Ooh.
But think about that though.
Yeah, all the ports.
$33 or $34 for a Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
That does actually transform, and this looks pretty accurate, to the IDW comic. So it's not bad.
His basis was like Tarn was like he was infatuated with Megatron, creepily infatuated. So that's why he's kind of got like that. That's a double fusion cannon that goes on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to copy Megatron.
Yeah, right here.
The Flame Toys, man, that's something special.
Yeah.
Especially at that price point.
Well, and the thing is, if you look at this, I wonder if this one's removable. Because there was a big consternation of okay, who is he really? Where did he come from? And literally, he's a nobody. He's really a nobody. It was called Glitch, and Glitch got upgraded to be Tarn. But what happened was he had a face before this, and then it got destroyed by the mask. Because if you took the mask over, it was completely spiked.
Yeah, it was it's like when you read those old books of religious zealots who they used to whip themselves or whatever. That was his thing where he would put this mask on. So MMC, when they came out with their version, which they called Coulter, they thought it was somebody else. So they put that face underneath. And then suddenly when IDW was like, haha, wrong. It's this guy. So he's got the wrong face.
And it's funny because you know who they thought it was, Roller. Optimus Prime's Roller is what they thought was Tarn.
Okay. In the comic book.
Because in an IDW, Optimus abandoned Roller, and so Roller was reformatted, everybody thought into Glitch, and then Glitch became Tarn. That never happened. Okay. Roller was alive and well in Iacon working for the High Justices, so it was funny.
Why did Optimus Prime abandon him?
Because it was during a mission. He
was
lost
that the Lost Light?
It was a Lost Light, yeah. He lost his trailer, he lost Roller, he lost everything. And that's why he ended up becoming Orion Pax again, essentially. He lost his will to be the Prime. And so, because he said, I got Roller killed, I lost my trailer, I lost the base, I lost everything. I've lost being a Prime, so let it go. And ironically, that's Rodimus Prime came up. It really in IDW too at that point. But he was not a pansy like he is in G1.
Let's go fishing, gal.
Yeah.
No, this is I said this before, and I've said this on so many different platforms. If Hasbro wanted to make some money with some good animated movies that are geared towards us, there are so many good options that they could do for movies, from The Lost Light, Robots in Disguise, Last Stand of the Wreckers. They have all this stuff that is just sitting there for them to do animated movies that would literally blow everybody's socks off. Not to mention, too, it would bring so many more figures to light for people to drool over. That's where Drift came from. Yeah. Drift was from IDW that everybody fell in love with. That's also what got Flames Toys kickstarted.
But I wish Flame Toys would do reissues, because they're killing people right now. They're doing a reissue for Star Saber, but that's not what everybody wants. Everybody wants a Drift.
Yeah, the only one they've reissued has been Tarn.
No,
Tarn got one. Tarn got a reissue.
Yeah, Tarn got a reissue.
Yeah, that's the only other one besides Star Saber. Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody wants the drift. Yeah, even the red drift. People are just like, just give me a drift. I'll take a red one. But it's such a great character from the show or from the IDW book.
Speaking of IDW,
I got T-Mad mail.
Speaking, I'm gonna have this upside down. Speaking of flame toys, let's make somebody angry.
Don't piss me off today, Carl.
No, well maybe. I mean, I just got you a bunch of stuff. Leave me alone. Speaking of flame toys,
Megatron.
IDW Bomber Megatron.
So let's talk about
D4.
that for a minute.
D4 edition. D4 edition.
So I bought Carl that exact toy because he was a pre-order with me when I had the store way back when.
Right.
They finally get him. I finally get him sent out to his. It's sealed, brand new, nothing like good. It's missing parts inside the box. This is something.
And which part was it missing?
The forearm covers that it needed so we could hold.
They come together to form a fusion gun.
Exactly. So it was missing it.
Dang. So they straight up didn't put it in there at all.
No, it was Flame Toys who didn't do it. So it wasn't the retailer I bought it from. It was Flame Toys themselves. And guess what? It's been so long, Flame Toys didn't have it no more. So they couldn't replace it. So you know what had happened? And this is the bad part. It went from me to Carl to Sony.
Went to Sony. Yeah.
Yeah, went to Sony.
Right to Sony. Yeah.
Yeah. And PM Reviews, he was going to review it and he's like, hey, we're missing parts. And then Carl messages me. And it's like early in the morning too, because he knows I work early. He's like, hey, Nate, guess what? We got problems. Oh, shit. What happened? And he said, yeah, we're missing this. I'm like, dude, after all this time getting this one finally in, it's got a problem. And so I had to have it. Sony sent it back to me, and I had to send it back to the retailer. So now I can get a refund back and then pay Carl back.
Yeah, that's wild.
And it's just crazy. But he luckily found that version.
And like there are two different versions that typically come out. So mass retail, and then I guess you could say kind of like, how you guys mentioned Storm Collectibles is now exclusive to BBTS.
Yeah.
Right.
So the exclusive versions of Flame Toys, these figures will typically come with like one extra accessory, and it's usually a very large accessory. So like Optimus Prime comes with like a massive axe. The Fallen figure came with a flaming chainsaw. Comes out of their D4 Toys location, and I think it's like Hong Kong or Singapore. Hong Kong. And so like this guy, which I didn't really care because it wasn't exactly an accessory that I thought was like super, super cool until I watched Sony's review. It's a gun case that holds the sniper rifle, which is actually his G1 alt mode. Yeah. That gets all the stuff put together to be a sniper rifle. So it actually looks really, really good. And so that's normally excessively more expensive. And then they charge you on top of that really bad FedEx shipping prices. So I actually got him for a really good price from a guy in Virginia who has a toy store. So I was really lucky to not pay super exorbitant prices. Like I only paid maybe $25 more than what retail was for D4 retail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean that's the catch is like the D4 one was what? It was 500? 500?
Yeah, it's $475 without shipping.
Without shipping, yeah. But,
and then when you tack it on, it's $5 something with shipping.
Yeah, because the Hong Kong shipping is always way expensive, and that's the ones I usually like. Before I had my license with Flame Toys, I had to go through a third-party vendor, and that was painful. That's one reason why I couldn't get Carl's and Riss Megatrons in, because it took so damn long to try to get through customs to get here through that third-party vendor. So I said, I'm done with that, and I ended up buying his on the aftermarket to take care of these guys. And I was like, this is ridiculous. It's taking way too long. And so I contacted Flame Toys, and they were like, you want a license? You can get a license. We don't care. We're not Bandai. We're not Hasbro.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, Flame Toys is actually really, really good for replacement parts because my Fallen figure, after like I sent him to Bobby and then he went to Sony and then Bobby and then back to me. Like his shoulder piece kind of like exploded. It inverted on something when I lifted it up and the whole thing fell apart. I messaged D4 Toys and then Flame Toys messaged me. It was like, hey, what's your address? We'll take care of you. And literally within like 10 days, I had a replacement shoulder. They showed me everything I needed to do. Great customer service, but yeah, like what just happened, this was just kind of like a fluke.
Yeah.
To where they didn't have any more parts because it literally was the fusion cannon on his arm that was missing. I'm like,
yeah.
Is that big like purple and silver like sniper rifle or whatever y'all talking about?
So like on Bomber Megatron, he now turns into like a stealth fighter jet.
Yeah.
But he still kind of has like his wings will come together to form his normal barrel fusion cannon you saw from G1. It mimics that.
Yeah.
So it will still be like on his right arm that he'll use to shoot like a gigantic blast.
Yeah.
He still has that. Yeah. It just looks a lot different because he's now more pointy as a plane. So in this one, Starscream Megatron was dying. Starscream actually rebuilt him when he took over the Decepticons, realized he wasn't the leader that he thought he would be, and spent his entire time rebuilding and saving Megatron to make him lead the Decepticons again.
Yeah.
Only for Megatron to like just whoop the living ever piss out.
Yeah. He literally, he had banished Starscream, and then Starscream, and this is funny, he was actually out of the comics for a long time at that point. And then
Starscream was?
Yeah, Starscream was. And then he comes back as a good guy. And he goes to be one of the, he was like Chancellor.
He was like a politician.
Yeah, he was a politician at that point. And he ended up being one of like the triangle between them, Iacon, Velocitron, and the where all the women come from. I forgot that planet.
But I think it was a cool change. Like you had that shift. And so like I thought that whole thing was interesting because when you talk about like Starscream, everybody like you either love him or you hate him. And in this case, you're just like, he really, even though like as much he was always trying to undermine Megatron, being like, oh, when you're dead, I'm taking over. Everybody will love me. In a case like this, he realized what his position was, that he's always going to be like a second best or second fiddle. And I thought the concept was really, really cool because it kind of showed, and it sounds weird when you say it, but like the human element of Starscream.
Yeah.
And I thought the concept was really cool, but then it just made you hate Megatron for being like, he saved your life.
Well, fellas, I appreciate y'all having me tonight. I'm gonna have to actually run, but Nate, appreciate you. Scooter, appreciate you, buddy.
As always, Dog, it's good seeing you in the virtual.
Yes, thank you guys. You guys have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Take it easy, Nate. Thank you for the invite.
All right, guys. See y'all next time. All right. So yeah, next week we are going to have something a little different too. We're going to have a new block, and the new block is going to be called Creator Corner or something similar to that. What we're going to do is actually have some people come on board that are comic creators, comic writers, whatnot, because it's not like a fun thing to do. So we decided to do it. So yeah, stick with us next week, and we shall see how it goes. And I hope you guys enjoyed it tonight, and have a good one. And we'll see you on the next one. All right, all right, all right. Oh, one more thing before we go tonight. I alluded to this last week, so remember I said, I had some extra stuff that we're going to give away. Yeah, we're going to do a giveaway. So I'm going to do a separate video. So keep an eye out. We'll be doing it soon. All right, folks. Take it easy. Have a good one. Thank you, Surrounding Games. Thank you, Tattoo 400. Thank you, everybody that came by tonight. And we hope you guys have a good night tonight. All right.